David Fincher is incredible. His movies are some of the best ever made.
Take a look at this scene. Two characters are sitting in a bar having a conversation. The camera doesn't move. Nothing much is really happening. You would think this could be done in a couple of takes. But for David Fincher, he shot it 99 times.
Only 99?
He doesn't take himself seriously, but boy, does he take his film seriously.
Fincher believes that a natural performance can only be achieved through countless takes and an obsessive eye for detail.
I just wanted to know how you achieve that.
Some say he's a perfectionist.
He's so meticulous and detail-oriented.
Others say he's just obsessive.
I would get confused about what was he needing that he wasn't getting and why do we keep doing it.
Tell him to move the table 8 inches camera left. Looks like it has to go up on the camera right side slightly. Go ahead and level him out. Pan right a micron.
But does it really make his films stand out?
His idea of professionalism is most others' idea of obsession.
He said, I want to see less of the eyes. Just lose one line of thread across the top, and then it'll be perfect. That was classic Fincher.
You know, he's particular.
There are very few David Finchers in the world. He does too many takes, but he's wonderful.
The hair on the back of my neck stands up when people talk about perfection because it's unachievable.
He sees in this panoramic kind of thing that you won't even understand until you see the movie.
You have a very, very limited amount of time to make your point, and being concise is, you know, one of the hallmarks of directing. You have to make your point and get out of Dodge.
This guy's methodical, exacting, and worst of all, patient.
If there is something David Fincher has shown from the beginning of his career, it's complete control of the grammar of film.
People will say, there are a million ways to shoot a scene, but I don't think so. I think there are 2 maybe, and the other one is wrong.
In a Fincher movie, there are no doubts over space, over who is talking to whom, or doubts about the relations of power between subjects.
Shut up, Mel.
In his films, camera movement is driven by character behavior. Fincher's camera is the exterior expression of the internal emotion of his characters. When the character moves, the camera moves. When a character has a moment of realization, the camera underscores it.
She's telling a better story. No, Nick. She is telling the perfect story.
Imagine a writer who uses italics or serifs in certain words to accentuate the meaning of a line of dialogue or to highlight the internal happenings of a character.
I think you get a very precise, almost perfect compositional style that completely eliminates the operator from the equation and allows the actor to directly communicate with the audience.
Fincher is consistently regarded as a very meticulous director that asks of his crew extreme concentration and many takes to get what he wants.
There's no time for cell phone calls. There's no time for, cruising the fucking internet. You shoot and you go right into the next one. You shoot, you go right into the next one.
Such level of focus is essential due in part to his subtle choreography, which requires precise synchronization between the camera and the actor.
If I do my job right in prep, I always feel like the shooting should be boring. I'd rather be prepared and bored than excited and, hemorrhaging cash and looking like a fraud.
His range of camera moves is fairly limited compared to other studio directors, only shifting away from stable camera moves to evoke contrast, portray different states of mind, or to establish power dynamics between characters.
It's amazing to me how he uses such a limited palette of camera moves, and he can make you feel so much. A lot of people put cameras on cranes, they move around, it's very dynamic, they push in. But if you watch with Fincher, the moves are very deliberate, very slow. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of restraint.
David Fincher has constantly stated his preference is for camera work that is omniscient. Cameras that act like an all-seeing eye that captures behavior without interfering with it. A camera without personality.
Anytime you have camera movement this late, like the dolly lands after the actor, what that says to the audience is that someone is operating the camera. There's another person in the room. The audience is smart enough now to recognize those mistakes.
Fincher wants to achieve immersion by taking out all those things that can remind the audience that they're watching a movie.
I don't want to feel that there's a boom operator and there's a camera operator and someone's pushing the dolly. I like the omniscience of a camera that slides over to where it needs to be.
He uses a camera style that feels so impersonal, so you don't notice any tricks or artificial elements. The goal is to let you dive into the movie without getting in the way, to get lost in the story. But more often than not, what Fincher achieves with this omniscient camera work can be the complete opposite. When you see a shot like this, it's more likely that the first thought in your head is, "Whoa, what a cool 3D shot," instead of thinking about being immersed in a movie.
I love the way your films look. There's such an amazing blue-green to Fight Club. All that fluorescent lighting, it just shoots you through this tube.
David Fincher's use of color is not an accessory, but a powerful storytelling tool. Color is purposely introduced to accentuate character behavior, add subtext, or to produce contrast.
Edward and his boss, I mean, they obviously live in the same world, and it's just so mundane and boring, and Tyler is so effervescent and so colorful, and you can understand the attraction, how polar these two characters are from one another.
Color is a tool Fincher frequently employs to differentiate locations and establish connections between specific cues, places, and the emotional significance of the events unfolding. Take, for example, the steely blue hues of the Vanger estate in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You just feel something dark is hiding behind those doors. Gone Girl does something similar. Fincher employs the color yellow to tint those rare moments when Nick and Amy are sincere with each other, providing subtle cues that allow us to glean the truth from a story ridden with deception.
100% true. No bullshit.
The less yellow we see in a scene, the thicker the layer of lies between them.
What are you thinking? How are you feeling? What have we done to each other?
The Game is another film that deals with a complex web of deception. At the start of the movie, warm yellow hues are associated with the safety of Nicholas Van Orton's meticulously controlled and isolated life. Blue hues, on the other hand, are linked with the dangers and schemes derived from the chaotic adventures CRS has devised for him. Fincher uses these connections not only to create expectations, but to subvert them.
Once again. Great, once again.
Fincher is also infamous for doing a grueling number of takes. The great Stanley Kubrick was a notable advocate of this approach, famously subjecting his actors to prolonged and demanding shooting sessions, involving countless takes.
It's like this profound desire to discover something accidental, different, and new in the process.
But he pushes you to the limit because he sees stuff that you don't see that makes him want to try it again.
And eventually you've done it so many times that it's like you're so tired that you're not even thinking about it, and that's where you should be.
It does, from an outside perspective, sound really daunting and really exhausting, but having lived it, I am a devout follower of that process now. I think it's because I felt really safe and I felt like I had enough time.
Whomever the actor is, whomever the performer is, at whatever point they are in their career or their experience, I want them to feel like he got what he needed.
Because the hard thing to do in front of the camera is to produce real life. And real life, you cannot plan, really. And either you can do like Lars von Trier, which just throw them out and don't tell them what to do, and they're so surprised all the time that they actually become natural. Or you do like Fincher and just wear them down until you stop pretending, you stop being ambitious.
You spend $250,000 on a set. You're gonna put it on a soundstage, it costs you $5,000 a day. You're gonna put $8,000 worth of lights you're gonna bring a $150,000 crew in. You're gonna bring actors in from all over the world. You're gonna put them up in hotels. They're gonna come there, and the idea is to get them out as soon as possible.
David Fincher's body of work has always stood out for being incredibly well performed. In all of his films, delivery is full of subtle yet intricate nuance, each scene playing out like a brutal tennis match where characters attempt to defend their position through deception or calculating persuasion.
I have to go study.
You don't have to study.
Why do you keep saying I don't have to study?
Because you go to BU.
I'm not interested in an argument between two characters where one is wrong and stupid and the other is right and smart. Or even the inverse, one is right and stupid and the other is wrong and smart. I'm interested in an argument between two people who truly believe what it is that they're saying.
Fincher's approach to actors doesn't involve developing a character from scratch inside out. Instead, he seeks actors with the right physicality, who already bring a certain baggage that relates in any way to the character. From there, it's all about hammering the performance out of them via repetition.
I think casting's a big part of the job in that there are certain tangible things that an actor as a human brings to a role. I think that Forrest would have a hard time playing somebody who is evil. I think it would be hard for Jared Leto to play somebody who is naive. Jodie Foster can play a lot of things. Stupid ain't one of them.
I know. And one of the most talented filmmakers of my generation is David Fincher.
Right.
All right. But he's not in the same category as me because I'm a writer-director, and that makes it different. That makes it a different thing.
But could we say that there's an overarching thematic exploration in Fincher's filmography? Panic Room is a slick thriller with no underlying intent beyond providing an entertaining break-in crime story. The Social Network is a dialogue-intensive, dramatic portrayal of the origin of one of the biggest corporations in history. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is an emotional, family-friendly adaptation of the classic F. Scott Fitzgerald short story. And Fight Club is a satirical critique of corporate America, brimming with dark humor. Is there a common thematic concern among these disparate films?
I'm not interested in educating our customers.
I sort of feel like all movies, you gotta kind of go in with the idea that this isn't the one that defines you, because I think people get too caught up in the legacy that they're leaving.
I mean, shouldn't your movies, if they are truly personal, change the way you change? Every 7 years, all of the cells in our bodies change. Everything is in this process of evolution. So the notion that the director is a brand, I work hard to fight against whatever my brand is. I would like my brand to stand for works really hard, tries to make it as good as he possibly can. If the brand is, it's going to be dark and grainy, I have no interest in that. It's just too reductive. It's just too stupid. It makes all the sense in the world to say we have to be thoughtful about the ideas that we put out into the world because people can misperceive them. We're trying to make strangers feel something at the same time. The audience has to feel it. If they don't feel, it's a problem.
You make them as well as you possibly can. And the 12 hours a day that you get, everyone, 90 people are all there, you want to maximize that time so that when you're flipping through channels 20 years later and you see it and you're not humiliated.